Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Greek Pantheon series. Today we're going to be discussing Orestes. All right, so basically, Orestes is the son of Agamemnon and Clymnestra, which we um, discussed previously. We discussed both of them previously. Basically, um, he became the king of Mycenae. Um, he was away when his father returned to Troy, which we'd previously discussed, and his father was killed. So when he came home, um, he found out that his father had been killed, and his mom had basically shacked up with this guy, Aegistheus. I can't really say his name, and he was really upset about it. So, he killed his mother and he killed the other guy. Um, he felt a strong passion to avenge his father because he felt that what his mother did was wrong and that she shouldn't have killed his dad like she did. I disagree. I think that what she did was just fine. But in most of the stories, especially the plays, he's viewed as being like tortured, and he like has to avenge his father and do away with his mother because like the city is not prospering the way it should, and it's like he has to save everybody by killing his mom to right this like horrible wrong. Um, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I get okay. So he shows up 7 years after Clymnestra did away with Agamemnon. So for 7 years, the country has been ruled by Aegisthus and Clymnestra. Anyway, part of the problem with doing this, with killing his mother, is there are these things called the Furies, and you can see in this image here, these are the Furies. They are female wraiths or ghosts, for lack of a better term, that will show up and torture you and drive you insane if you kill of your own blood. So if you killed a child or you killed like he killed his mother, that's the woman who bore him. So he will be tortured forever by these wrathful women, and they just chase you across the surface of the earth. And that's kind of what happens to him. He kills his mom because he feels like he's in a between a rock and a hard place. He doesn't really have a choice. And then he is tortured by these furies that chase him across the planet. And then there are two in the play that I read when I was going through school. He makes it to Athena's temple, and at that point, he'd been hunted by somebody. I can't remember. Anyway, I think it was Apollo who interfered on his behalf in front of Athena, and they decided that they would deliver him from his madness and his wandering, and he could return to his country to be king, because he had avenged his father by killing his mother. Anyway, it was all, yeah, he was forgiven. But in another version of the story, he actually makes it to Athena's temple, but Artemis is there. And remember, his sister Iphigenia was the one that was sacrificed to Artemis. And so it's actually Artemis, or it's actually Iphigenia, who's a priestess, that appeals to Artemis and Athena on her brother's behalf to forgive her brother so that he doesn't have to wander in madness. So, yeah. Yeah, I think part of the deal, I'm reading the bottom of this, which I hadn't previously read, and I'm sorry, because this was one of my last articles, so I grazed. But anyway, it's saying here that he also carried the image of Artemis to Eresia. Um, yeah, so he helped propagate the images of the goddesses, which is one of the reasons why he was released from his madness and his curse. So basically, the whole thing's really a tragedy because you've got Agamemnon, who's really this colossal jerk, and he ruins the life of Iphigenia and Clymnestra, and Cassandra because he was not nice to her either. And then his son avenges his death because he kind of has to. And then he's to be tortured for the rest of his life. Like, how is that even fair? And his sister, Electra, the only surviving one, she actually assisted in the slaughter of her mother. But she's kind of a tortured character. We'll talk more about her later. But yeah, she wasn't chased across the globe. Anyway, so that's Orestes. Poor guy. I don't think he ever got to go home and be king again. But he did stop being chased by the Furies, which is good. And he was given peace. Yeah. All right. That was a pretty short episode today. Not a whole lot into Orestes, like, other than the introduction of the Furies, which do pop up in other stories. But they were kind of an interesting concept, which always kind of confused me because, like, didn't Agamemnon kill Iphigenia, which was his blood? So why wasn't he being hunted and tortured by the Furies? Maybe you have to have a conscience in order to be tortured by the Furies, or maybe it did literally mean, like, if you kill your mother, you would be hunted by the Furies because they are female haunts or haints that chase after him. So maybe later they translated it to mean that it had to be of your own flesh, but originally it actually just meant if you kill your mom, you're going to be tortured and driven mad, which mothers don't get enough credit. So I'd have to say I'm okay with that. Don't kill your mom, you guys. Unless she's no unless. Don't kill anybody, really. Yeah, let's just don't kill anybody. Different times, different society. Don't kill anybody. Good rule of thumb. All right, well, see you next week.